What is up, everybody? Jester here, and today, if you want to know how to make championship and restaurant quality level pulled pork, well, this is the video for you. I'm going to show you step by step, including the purchasing of the product, exactly how I do my pulled pork, and then you can get this stuff right here. It's going to be good for the crew, for sandwiches, for whatever you want to put it with. Let's get into the video. The first step in any successful barbecue is going to be doing your homework on pricing. Now, I found this on sale for what you can see there at the bottom, or barely see, $1.49 a pound. They're going to tell you that this should be $3.49 a pound, or $3.79. It actually does say $3.79, and it should be $80, but you're miraculously saving all that money down to $31.28. Look, what they do is they mark that up, and they make it look like you're getting a big savings. Don't fall victim to this kind of behavior. Check your local newspapers for the ads for your local stores, or look online and try to find the best purchase for what you're getting. I like to buy them in these big two-piece cryovacs where I'm getting 2 full pork butts. And like I said, this is like 21 pounds of meat, but we do have some bone weight and some fat weight, so we're not gonna yield 21 pounds of meat. But this is a really good way to buy, and if you have the means, take this when you see it on sale. Either separate it, put it back in cryo, or just take the 2-piece package and put it in your freezer. It's gonna save you money long term. The next thing that I do for my pulled pork, which is completely optional, but I like to do an injection on this. And what I found, crazily enough, is I used to just use an apple juice and brown sugar mix, but one day I stumbled across this, which is a Snapple apple. I don't know what it is about this stuff, but it's got some other flavors and things that are kind of ingrained into that drink, and it just makes a much more full flavor when it's put into the pulled pork. All we're gonna do is take that, I put about, I don't know, 3 small containers of that in here, because we're doing 2 pulled porks today. And then we're gonna add some brown sugar. I wanna keep this to where it will dissolve, because I do have a new injector today that we're gonna be playing with. Yay, Jester got new toys. But then you just take that, put that in there like so, and then you just whisk that in until it is completely dissolved, and then we'll be ready for our next step. And that new little toy that I got is this guy here. This was $20 online, and it's basically just a spray bottle that has a little hose attached to it with your needle. And apparently all you need to do is go into your meat and start sending it. Now, it's not gonna be as good as a needle. I did do a little bit of testing with it. It definitely is not quite as quick as the regular needle would be. But as you can see, this, I can be a lot more directed with it, and I've got a much bigger volume of fluid to work with. It's just gonna take a little bit more time. So let me get this one all injected, and then I'll show you what we're gonna finish it up with. Now, the last step that I like to do for my pulled pork is just the rub. And what we're gonna be using is the Woody's rub that I use on almost everything. I'll put links in the description for that, because this stuff is amazing on chicken, pork, beef. I put it on French fries. It's actually really, really good stuff. The other point that I want to make when you're doing the rub on a pulled pork is you really can't overdo it. Make sure that you cake this stuff on there as much as possible, because the overall volume of this meat is going to be nothing in comparison with the outside where the rub and the bark and stuff is going to be. So overdo it as much as possible on all sides, and you should get a good result. Now, just note that this is actually going to go in at like 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing 3 hours in the Traeger pellet fed on smoke alone. Then we're going to turn it up to 250, and from there, I'll bring you guys back in at some point on that, but I won't be able to film it going in. Just know we are going to run 3 hours of smoke, and then I will show you when we're getting ready to do the next step. So as you can see, we're getting amazingly good color here out of the pork butt and the rub and the good smoke. We are using pecan and oak again today. We did do the 3 hours of smoke this morning, and then I turned it up to 250. It's been going for about another 3.5 hours. But at this point, I really kind of want to speed this process up, because pulled pork can take forever and ever and ever. So what I like to do is I like to take my bare paws and move this over into a fresh pan. And then all you have to do is just take, and I usually try to do the shiny side down, and just get a good wrap up and seal on this. Now, this is probably still going to be another 3 or 4 hours even in here, but the concept of the wrap, and again, it's very optional. I'm sure that a lot of barbecuers would tell you don't do it. The reason I do it is that it just speeds it up. It creates a small little oven that holds that heat inside of there, and it just makes everything break down a little bit quicker. But that's pretty much it. As soon as we get everything ready to pull, and I'll show you when it's done, I'll bring you guys back in for that. It is now right at 4:30 in the afternoon, and it's been in here for a while. Like I said, it started at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. So we're at like 10 and a half hours, give or take. 3 of those hours were on smoke. But because we wrapped it, it does get done a little bit quicker. Speaking of getting done, there's a couple of ways you can kind of figure out if it's going to pull properly. The first is temperature, but I use that as a guideline. I don't really use it as an absolute. I shoot for between 205 and 210. That's going to be Fahrenheit. Usually everything is broken down at that point, but there is another test you can do, and that's going to be the bone test. If there's any resistance on the bone, which this one there does seem to be, but not much, and it comes out and it's super dirty, it's not ready. But you see how clean that is? This stuff is ready to pull. And what I would suggest you do is find some bear paws, but I'm not going to do that right now because there's a lot of hot liquid down in here, and I don't really have enough space to get this pulled out properly where I can pull any of the big heavy fat off of it. So we're going to take that inside and get that done, and you guys have already seen that. So hopefully you guys like this kind of content. I'm going to do a thing starting next year to where I'm going to try to be a little more educational as to why I do the things I do and the methods at which I do them. And hopefully you guys are on board for that. If you are, like and subscribe, because it's going to be a great year in 2023. I cannot wait. And yeah, that's about it for today, guys. It's been a long one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.